Absolutely, still the polity. It is actually the polity because we just started on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You know how it is on Fridays. We start by 10 o'clock. And of course, my name is Chisom Chinedwe. I'm not alone. Franklin Ebuka is here. Good morning, Franklin. Happy new month. Happy rainy Friday and happy new month.
Is it just rainy Friday or it's been cloudy and raining? It's been cloudy and rainy since Monday till this very Friday. Of course, somebody will tell you that it's the season. You have to enjoy it. Yesterday, I was having a chat with somebody based in UK, and I was telling the person the kind of weather condition we have now. Guess what she said? Enjoy it. So for us, let's enjoy it.
Let's enjoy it. Ogaragidi is here as well on the analysis desk. Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Chisom Chinedu. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, in Anambra, in Onitsha, Donido. Wherever you're listening to us from, it's always a pleasure. Good morning, God Almighty, the maker of heaven and earth. And also, we're here in the sanctuary ready. And let's quickly begin to burn the incense. There's no need to wait any longer. Let's quickly begin to invoke the powers of the Almighty.
All right, we are starting with the papers this morning on the front pages. On our desk, we have The Guardian, Vanguard, Punch, and The Tribune. And the front page of The Guardian has banner headline 2026 World Cup. Uncertainty for FIFA, soccer fans over Trump's America First policies. Above that, you'd see a call of strike for negotiation. Presidency reps tell health workers on page 3. They warned before they went on a strike. What happened about negotiating before the strike proper? I mean, that's what a wise system would have tilted towards. Ferrari over Rivers LG polls as group threatens legal actions on page 28. Dangote Cement advocates budget-friendly mass housing for Nigerians on page 3. Tinubu rallies governors to drive reform gains despite hardship, discontent in states on page 6. 2027, PDP rejects Tinubu's endorsement, berates Atiku authors over ADC coalition on page 27. Appeal court upholds Ayedatiwa's selection as Ondo governor on page 27 as well. More defections, leadership crisis, and settles PDP ADC ahead of 2027 polls on page 6. Tension as bandits dismember 2 teenagers in Kogi on page 29. Concerns as bank charges customers for accumulated USSD debt on page 10. Why don't they take their USSD debt on the go? Why accumulate it and give people annoying debits? Now, 74% of children in detention homes awaiting trial, report declares on page 7, 1 year after hashtag end bad governance protest. The big question is how far, how well?
Okay, so let's go over to the Vanguard newspaper. We have the banner headline that says how misuse of Cybercrime Act cost Nigeria 1.1 trillion naira in 7 years. The story is on page 2 of Vanguard newspaper. There are riders here. Banks, telcos, MDA's network breached. Financial sector loses 53.4 billion naira to cyber criminals in 2024. Urgent need arises for reimagining. Or rather, urgent need arises for reimagining cybercrime enforcement architecture. All these stories are riders. that you can find under that very banner headline. The under headline here says Niger drags FG to Supreme Court over 13% derivation. Is on page 9 of Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu to governors take gains of reform to grassroots. That's on page 26. There was a NEC meeting yesterday. NEC meeting comprises the governors and some other government officials, including the CBN. At that very meeting, the president told them that all the gains of his government, the gains of the reforms of his government, should be driven down to the grassroots by the governors. And we saw Governor Obasani of Kaduna State saying that, Kaduna State saying that no president has been so good to the governors compared to Mr. President. And people were asking questions when you talk about being so good to governors in terms of allocation. Or probably allocations increase because of the extra fund we're not getting from removal of petrol subsidy at the expense of Nigerians. That's what the Nigerians are asking. Then another headline here says World Cup, why Super Eagles are struggling in qualifiers. Idea is Brown Idea. That's on page 29, the sports column of Vanguard newspaper. We go over to above the nameplate of Vanguard newspaper. Strike. FG approves policy to regulate trade unions' activities. That's on page 5. I'm waiting for Labour to react to this by tomorrow. 2027. Obi confirms talks with PDP others. That's on page 8 of Vanguard newspaper. Governors move to address education crisis. You can see the story on page 82. Tinubu extends customs CG's tenure. That's on page 9. And the last headline here says banks deposit with CBN soar 789% to 79.8 trillion naira. It's on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper.
All right, we are going over to the Tribune, the Nigerian Tribune precisely. Above the nameplate of the paper, PDP forts arbitrary street renaming in Lagos, threatens legal actions on page 2. Nigeria, influential nation of unlimited possibilities, U.S. government on page 11. How well are the people of Nigeria getting access to these unlimited opportunities? Being the poverty capital of the world with over how many million out of school children, last I checked. For the 4th Olubado, Ladoja expected in Ibadan weekend. Olubado in Council meets Monday on page 2. FEC approves 145 billion naira electrification projects for Unilag, UR, UNN, others on page 2. Okeza 68.7 billion naira for second phase of solar power for rural agri centers. Approves 3.7 billion naira for upgrade of oncology center in UCH. Foreign Affairs Minister in Ghana amid deportation threat and Nigerians. Find this on page 3. Tinubu extends a Denny's tenure as customs CG on page 12. A lorry clerical killed female student to die by hanging on page 4. HPV, new cases of skin cancer in people with weakened immunity. Experts have that to say on page 3. Yilwada's experience as rec added advantage for EPC along on page 22. We want better salaries, not loans, ASU tells FG on page 4. And on page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, appeal court affirms Ayedatiwa's election as governor.
Okay, so let's go back to the Punch newspaper. We have the banner headline says marketers warn against disruption as Dangote plans direct fuel supply. That's on page 18 of Punch newspaper. It has a rider Nogasa Petron Chaco Dangote. Petrol surges to 870 naira per litre at private depots and midfield. The headline beside the nameplate says Nigeria Ghana who talks over anti-Nigerian protests. You can see that on page 7 of Punch newspaper. 2027 defections stress tension as APC ADC lock horns. That's on page 2. Government's FX windfall crashes 73% to 589 billion in H1. That's on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. FEC FG approves 3.5 trillion naira for roads, airport, all that is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Nigeria needs new constitution, not amendment. As you can see the story on page 3 Recovery ongoing in 1.3 trillion naira CBEX Ponzi collapse. EFCC. That's on page 7. Ondo ADC vows to challenge Ayedatiwa's appeal court victories on page 26. How suspected ritualist dismembered my 16-year-old son, Ogun driver. See the story on page 4 and 5 of Punch newspaper. And the last headline here says, Oyo budget hit 984 billion naira after 299.8 billion naira supplementary bill. Is on page 29 of Punch newspaper.
All right, then we are starting the conversation of today by talking about 2027. Obi confirming talks with PDP others. Tony, I'm pretty sure that you have seen all of these developments. Rumors have been on for quite some time about Obi's, would I call it future come 2027, especially with the ADC, which was expected to be the main opposition vehicle, swinging towards so many angles. I mean, there were talks about the APC opening their doors for a primary election, disregarding the idea of zoning, which is expected to be one of the major advantages Obi was expected to have if he was to run on the platform of the ADC. Now, before now, there have been speculations that because of all of that, he might just pull out of the AGC and go for another party. We already know the fate of the LP. Presently, the PDP doesn't seem like a very strong vehicle. Looks like a vehicle that would need a lot of maintenance before anyone or anything can ride in it. But there are speculations and supposed confirmations now that Obi is contemplating riding in the PDP vehicle. What do you make of that?
I think BDP is a one-out vehicle, there's no doubt about it, and they are trying to hold on to something to survive. And I have said it many times, that will be the greatest political mistake P2B would ever make if he agrees to the overtures PDP as it is today, presently constituted. They are conversing around him. So he should be careful if he wants to go with the momentum or sustain the momentum he's going with. So we pointed out, I listened to Jerry Ghana, the former Minister of Information, where he said that if Obi joins PDP, that he will win Northern State. Jerry Ghana, as far as I'm concerned, should be well retired in politics. I don't know what he's doing in politics. They should give way for the younger generations. And we know that he was one of those who were prominent during the time of Obasanjo. And just like we have said earlier on, PDP is an offshoot of APC. Many of them probably will want to come into PDP to help them win some states for themselves. They have sub-national interest, not national interest. National interest is presidency. Sub-national interest remains gubernatorial and then senatorial or state house of assembly, as the case may be. So PDP, we know very well, was glittering, but he has been eroded by years of inordinate ambition. So we've seen defections. I think it was yesterday that Dino Melaye, the dramatic Dino, left PDP, and so many of them who have joined ADC. And there was somebody yesterday who declared himself as the national chairman of ADC in another drama. So Nigeria is full of drama. PDP should tread carefully. There is nothing in PDP that he should be talking or trying to talk with them, unless unless he's trying to tell them to support whatever he's doing in his own party. Wike has made it known. The G5 with Wike have made it known. The stakeholders in PDP have made it known that they would deliver the president. So they will use you to even deliver the president. So they are looking for whoever that will be used to deliver President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I don't know what PDP. He said he's talking with PDP and other parties. So we must put it in perspective. Not that he's talking to PDP alone. So I think the statement from Obi simply means or simply signifies that he is talking with the People's Democratic Party as well as other political forces, all aimed at crafting a viable platform for the 2027 general election. So
do you suspect that Tanko Unisa spoke on his own as against on this directive? Because when you say that you are talking with He said, and I quote, that a lot of PDP has been making overtures and is still doing that. And Obi is open to considering any viable vehicle. Now, you have said that the PDP is almost like mission impossible. And I've been trying to rack my brain, trying to wrap my head around a possible better vehicle than the ADC. The Labour Party, as it is at the moment, is, I'd say, engineer Kogo. Because their internal crisis alone, especially for a national election, might just not be it. But looking at Obi's person and his ability to garner support all on his own, I mean organic love, organic support, organic acceptance, do you not think, or do you think that any vehicle at all will work for Obi's person?
It depends on what the vehicle where he's drifting towards. If you bought a vehicle now that is headed to Lagos and then you are heading to Kano, what do you think would happen? The vehicle has been designed, built to move straight to Lagos. So if you are trying to imagine you being in Abuja with a Lagos designed vehicle, you'll be making a mistake. So yes, if you think Obi is popular, there's no doubt. And last I said about Obi was he needs to build on his popularity among the northern people. That is still in progress and that he hasn't done very well. So the most important thing is the fact that we know PDP, once a colossus bestriding the national landscape is now dilapidated, a purely dilapidated political edifice. That's what it is. It is tottering on the fragile beams of nostalgia and ambition. In fact, its ideological framework has become a rickety scaffolding. That's PDP for you. And then not just scaffolding of fractured loyalties, but splintered structures and decaying momentum. I would advise to be that there is this saying that there is no harm in trial, but there is harm in trying this one. So he should stay clear if he knows what he's doing, and if he's more conscientious, he should look at progressive forces. He says he has this vision of new Nigeria, and then you cannot visualize that new Nigeria using PDP. PDP is just there, it's already gone. For me, I've always said it many times.
Okay, so let me come in here because Chisom made reference to this very story we're talking about, that it came from Yunus Satanko, who happens to be his aide. And I also want to say that P2B Media Reach, that was 2 days ago, they issued a statement saying that Obi did not utter a particular statement that circulated saying that he denied getting involved with PDP. So for us to establish that there is some element of truth in what is on now, that Obi is in talks with the PDP, but what that very talk is all about is what we cannot establish now, whether it's for him to take up the presidential ticket or to come back to the fold. That is established now.
I think Ejiri Gana has made it that they will offer him the presidential ticket. That if he joins PDP, he should have his presidential ticket. But if he has that, they will all work for President Bola Tinubu. He didn't say that anyway. I'm adding that one.
Okay, now let's look at this, because I'm going to ask multiple questions. The one question is, politically, is it wrong for Obi, who is a member of the Labour Party and a building foundation of a coalition under ADC, to be talking to PDP at this point in time? That's number one question. The number two, let's look at all the what ifs, because politics is all about permutation. As you're calculating, I'm calculating, because PDP is also calculating on where they could possibly find themselves after, when they must have finished their convention. Now, this very convention, from what we know now, it appears as if Governor Shey Makindo of Ogun State has been able to, get some hold in this very party, because he has succeeded in moving the party convention to his state. Now, if eventually PDP goes to convention and they're able to sideline the men who are aligned to Yes and Wike, can we say that the party is in the process of being rebuilt, knowing that some persons who are leaving PDP now are said to be the troublemakers, And those who are still left in the party are those who believe in the ideal of the founding members of the PDP. Because those who do not believe, they are moving and joining other parties because they believe that that is where the future lies. So if PDP eventually is able to purge itself of its shenanigans after the convention, would it be a clear course for Obi to go back and then possibly fly on that party?
You asked a very instinctive question. If they are able to shed itself of these people in view, yes, those who have left PDP, article group, they have left PDP. If you look at these people who are leaving PDP from now onwards, they have been those who are with Atiku Abubakar, Dele Momodu, Dino Melai. You can name many of them. They are the ones leaving PDP, currently. That is by the way. And then you also have those who have the backing of Nyesom Wike. Now you are saying the convention will be coming sometime around November or December or thereabout. According to them, they have postponed it many times. So we are talking about elective convention. When we talk about convention, we don't mean just the congregation of people where they come and redefine whatever they want to redefine. We are talking about elective convention where they bring people that will steer the leadership of the party ahead. Now, if that convention comes, Sheyi Makinde, where the convention will be hosted, has somehow made it known that he will be working to deliver Mr. President. So if Sheyi Makinde, who is going to host the convention, has this thing in mind to deliver President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you can imagine how the convention or what the convention will turn out to be. Sheyi Makinde is working closely with Wike. He is hosting the convention. Wike will come with his money as usual, and they're going to put their people there. So don't ever be deceived that these people will shed whatever they want to shed. I pity those who are like Lubude George and then Jerry Ghana.
So are you saying that the war between Sheyi Makinde and the Wike, which we have seen in recent days, are you saying that it's a facade?
It's pure facade, and then it's cosmetic. They are united in Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They may have differences over who becomes who or who becomes what, but they have a common agenda. The common agenda is to deliver Mr. President, and Sheyi Makinde has made it known in some quarters, just as Adeleke, the governor of Osun State, has also made it known. So you wonder who they are going to bring. These two men definitely will bring those that will form the new leadership of PDP. If PDP is to have convention today, and they will work in their interest, there's no doubt. So PWB should be thinking of consolidating, not shopping for vehicle as we speak now. He's still shopping for vehicle. He doesn't even know the vehicle that he's going to board with. By now, we've seen the handwritings on the wall. We've seen what is going on in Labour Party. Somebody was.
So where do you think his future lies? Because they're talking about vehicle. For you, which vehicle should he be considering now? Because if you look at the ADC, which he happens to be one of the arrowheads in the birth of this very coalition, from the look of things, in as much as the ADC has told us that they're going to leave everything open, if they go for an open primary, if they go for indirect or direct primary, there is every likelihood that Atiku Abubakar is going to win, unless anything happens and he decides to shed his ambition. If he goes to the Labour Party is still in crisis, in as much as somebody has made a move to see how he can reconcile the warring factions, and we haven't seen them making any headway. Because what is going to change everything now is if INEC eventually gets to recognize the Osman as the group he's going to work with. Of course, Labour Party and the P2B will now begin to see how they can rebuild. Maybe they have captured the party, but as it stands now, P2B cannot say that he has a hold on Labour Party. Then PDP, which he left before the larger election, now the PDP is courting him, asking him, come into our fold. We are beginning to shed our sense of shenanigans. We are beginning to rebuild ourselves. And he is holding talks with all of them, perhaps creating confusion in the minds of some political watchers. Now, focusing on that 2027, where do you think that he has to capitalize and build his strength on that place now, having 2027 in mind?
I think it's very simple. We have 18 political parties, in Nigeria as we currently speak, and then I would have advised him to join Zenith Labour Party under the national chairmanship of Honorable Chief Barrister Dan Wanyangu.
Why would you do that?
But then, we are talking about a platform you can take hold on now while you consolidate. But the point remains, if you are thinking that INEC will give Denadi Usman recognition ahead of Abure, I will see it as miracle. It will be miraculous. We know the forces behind the whole thing. So, you've seen Abure. You want me to point some of these things out? You've seen Abure meeting Yeson Week. You think the meeting was for nothing? It wasn't for nothing. It was to ensure that his recognition is still intact. And then I can go on to tell you how best they can get that done with our weak institutions. But that's by the way. Having said that, you are not in the leadership circle of Labour Party. You are not in PDP. You are not in any of the political parties, even in ADC. ADC, from the look of things, is built to give Atiku ticket. So now for P2B, because this is politics. If you talk about Zenith Labour Party, ZLP, people may get confused with Labour Party. There are many Nigerians who may be confused, especially in the north, and then some parts of the south. They may be confused. Some of them, if you say ZLP, they may forget the Z and go with the LP. That kind of thing. So I will ask him, I advise him, he may start or begin to do something with Allied People's Movement, the very party Theodore Orji used to win local government elections in Abia State. Why didn't ALM? So if you look at it, it is important that we put it into perspective. Why didn't Alex Oti use Labour Party in Abia State local government election? Because he knows that INEC recognizes Julius Abure faction, and then he will be the one that his state chairman will be one to sign some of these very forms and also submit to the state electoral commission. So he looks at it and he sees the legal bottleneck that is in there. So if he can go with the party Alex Oti used to win local government elections in Abia State for a start.
I see Alex Oti. That's Zenith Labour Party. Alex Oti.
Yes, for a start.
Okay. I think I.
That's Zenith Labour Party for a start. And now he looks at how to consolidate, because we are talking about the timetable for 2027 will be out by February. Everybody's aware. Will be out by February. So you have, after this August, you have September, October, November, December, January, February. You have 6 months for the timetable to be out, and you are still shopping for political party. So it is for me, it's getting late. What I think he needs to do, just like I pointed out earlier on, he should look at all these political parties. We have Accord, we have Action Alliance.
So I suggesting that he should he should leave Labour Party, defect to another party, or he should look for a party to adopt while still serving Labour Party.
Definitely, Labour Party is in Labour Party hoping that INEC will give recognition to Nenadi Usman, which I said is just a dream.
So hold on a second.
It's a dream.
So we round off this conversation, right? You were saying that it's a dream. What then will be the fate of the LP? Especially since Abure's tenure has expired, and the court would always say it's a party affair, right? What if Abure and Nenadi Usman decide to put heads together and fix the madness in Labour?
They have two different interests now. It's important. Abure is a transactional is a transactional politician. There's no doubt about that. So he has been bought over. So he's no more in the same camp with Nenadi Usman, so they cannot meet again. Even if they meet, it is just for personal interest. So let's call these things by their names. For me, I'm thinking, yes, I wanted to let you know the political parties P2B should be ensuring, in fact, it can form a coalition amongst these political parties. And these political parties, it can form coalition outside Action Alliance, the one Chiwere is brandishing.
Why are you counting that one?
No, you have to count it out. Showore has his own mission.
But then I'm asking, all these parties, would they guarantee him votes from the north?
It's not about guaranteeing votes from the north. It's all about holding something as we speak and then building that bridges across, because these parties, you will have to ensure they can go into alliance. See, that you can form alliance over alliance. Like now we have African Democratic Congress.
So can I say this?
Okay.
It's looking like we are going to have a pro-max repetition of what happened in the last general election, where P2B and Atiku are going to divide their votes and give victory to President Bola Tinubu.
That is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. But the point I'm trying to make here is this: we have northern blocks that P2B needs to work on to get on his own side, and he needs people.
Exactly my question. All of these people, would they guarantee him access to these people for starters?
But that's the point. This politics is a game of interest, and then as the whole thing thickens, there is revelations, there are developments. We must also have it in mind. Nothing is cast on stone. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows what is going to happen next tomorrow. After all, I'm not going to predict anything. So you have to leave things to chance, but you must have a consolidated base. What we are talking about is he should have a base. P2B should have a strong base, and that base forms your major political engagement. Because where is your base now? If you say you are in labor, your faction is not recognized. You cannot do anything. Even your bosom friend in a Lex OT could not even conduct local government election using that labor. So you don't have base. Now, if you say you are in ADC, you are not a registered member. You don't have base. So the point I'm trying to make is he should negotiate, keep negotiating. They are, yes, open to political parties, but the most important thing is whatever negotiation, you must measure it with the kind of alliance you must build with the North.
Do you think Obi is probably exaggerating the impact of the entire obedient movement?
For me,
maybe relying on them when they're probably not as strong as he thinks.
If you ask me, obedient movements in the past and now, has this team been lowered? Maybe, or maybe not. So one thing is very sure, you can't just speak, because they are very present on social media the same way they were prior to 2023 election.
People are leaving, people are joining.
They, just like that. But the point is that they have not made that inroad towards the North. Look at so many political polling units. We are not covered by any agent. In the last election, you cannot even imagine that they never had agents that would man their polling units.
And those are things that should start taking care of early enough.
Killed them over 60,000 polling units. We are not manned by these people in the past or not.
Does that mean
how do you end the use time to win election?
Does it mean that they do not have any stakes in those places? Because if you do not have agents from these places, it means you do not have a structure in those places.
That is it. You don't need structure in the South, because there are people that will tell you P2B does not need structure. Yes, he doesn't need structure in the southern part of the country. He doesn't need, but he needs it in the North.
Okay,
he needs it in the North.
Let's go to fact. All right.
Let me just say this. Tony said he is not going to make a prediction, but I am going to make my own prediction. Unless Obi picks the presidential ticket under ADC and others join him, that's the only way they can challenge Mr. President. But if eventually it becomes to attend to Israel, Obi goes to find another platform, I think flies under ADC,
it's over.
Before noon, it's going to be over. And secondly, if you say Obi should use other parties and see how he can reach out to the North, Obi cannot play the kind of politics that will require some big weights in the North to begin to coalesce under him. You know why? Because the kind of politics we play here is give or take. So can Obi give them what they would demand to be able to get their support?
Definitely. And for you to also go into that, you need trusted northern politicians and blocks that will plead on their people. Okay. Has he those people in his own baggage? I think the only problem Obi has is Atiku Abubakar. If Atiku Abubakar stands out on his way, he has a chance. and being that Atiku Abubakar is still blocking some penetration in the north.
Is it possible for Atiku to decide to work with Obi?
Atiku has seen this thing.
Like on what arrangements?
See,
On go for presidency, I will sacrifice this lifelong ambition and support you.
how?
If you really want to make
that would be
Nigeria
in the
better.
next world.
See, there is no such possibility.
That would be in the next
You
world.
know, the point is this: the only thing that will change that narrative is that maybe one of them may be incapacitated. I'm not saying
safer to use that word.
incapacitated.
Yes, safer to use
I think
that
I wouldn't
word.
want to say another thing.
Don't say
The only way such possibility is tenable is if one of them is incapacitated to run.
Let's leave it at that. FEC FG approves 3.5 trillion naira for roads, airports, others. Now we are learning that the Federal Executive Council on Monday approved road and bridge projects nationwide worth 2.38 trillion naira, with plans to publish a state-by-state ledger of works above 10 billion naira in the coming weeks. Minister of Works Dave Umahi revealed this while briefing State House correspondents after yesterday's Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu at Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Tony, because we are totally out of time, you don't have the breakdown yet. But how do you see this, and of course its import in the southeast?
I'm just concerned because I'm curious over the amount. We are talking about 3 trillion naira. That's what was approved for aviation and power, also infrastructure. If you look at that very figure, you can understand why Lagos is towering. And then before you know it, there are people that will tell you that wonders were built in Lagos, but then it was our collective resource that is being deployed in building Lagos State. But that's by the way. And then if you look around, Southeast, maybe we are told that they receive fake approved projects spanning roads and aviation infrastructure, especially in Abia, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, and Ebonyi. So I'm also concerned about the Enugu Onitsha Owerri Expressway. I'm told that it got fake approval, even though the breakdown has not been provided or made public. But an insider was telling me that it got 22 billion naira for the rehabilitation, just some parts of the road that is totally bad. And then they have Uturu, Isukwato, Akara in Abia State getting about 5.92 billion. For me, that's very small money. But you can understand that the Lagos, the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, that is the one we call MMM Terminal 1 rehab, it gets about 712 billion naira. 712 billion naira. And the Malamamino Kano Airport runway and taxiway rehab to Katu got about 46 billion naira. And also we are told that Port Harcourt International Airport, the runway and taxiway CAT 2 got about 42 billion naira. But I didn't see anything there cannot be an international airport in Enugu got, but we are told that full business case approved for a 30-year concession for that very international airport. So looking around, 3 trillion approved, and you can see some other regions having something much higher. In fact, the point is, the president is doing well in Southwest. There's no doubt about that. He's totally doing well, and I'm also aware that that there was also the power hybrid station, which the NEC also approved. We have our own Dave Umahi as the Minister of Works, and I think that's the only major thing we got from this present administration. So, and we will cry. Nobody will console us if after serving his term and some of these road projects in the southeast are still the way they are. Somebody will tell you your brother was the Minister of Works, you should go on and hold him. Don't come here and cry. He was. That will be the case then. So the point is, we have dilapidated roads across southeast road infrastructure is in total chaos, and I'm not seeing such touch, I'm not seeing such presence. Even when we don't have much federal establishment, much federal projects going on in southeast, nobody's talking about the dry port at Onitsha here. Nobody's talking about it. all you keep hearing. Look at what the approval for Apapa, what do you call it? We saw the approval. The Apapa seaport, the roads there, we saw the approval. We saw the one of another road around the deep blue sea. See, my point is this. Dave Umai is one lifetime opportunity to do things for Southeast. Yes, one lifetime opportunity. We have seen these roads in poor shape. It is before you. It is not to the Buna. It is what you present before him and convince him.
Okay,
we approve.
We totally have to drop the conversation here. However, when you were talking, a question came to me, a rhetoric. I'm not asking you for an answer. When would we leave the shackles of people doing projects because of where they are from, or to please political interests? Join the conversation. Put a call across to 0803-221-6973, 0803-876694. As you can see, we totally do. We are totally out of time. Go straight to the point. Your name, where you're calling from. If you can do this in 45 seconds, at most 1 minute, let's take a chance on you. Good morning. Are you there? Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, 1 minute. I can do it. Good morning, house.
Good morning.
Here. That is a lovely day. Number one, where was Obi's block or structure? Where did it come from in the last election? Number two, it looks, please take up this your permutation once more. Then number two, where will this money come from so that we can keep building Lagos, and the western areas of Nigeria? We keep borrowing to build it for them. Is that right? Umahi, that's not so. Day. Have a good day. Thank you.
Good morning. Have a good day too. Good morning. Are you there?
Jessica.
Good morning.
My
Go
name
ahead.
is Honorable George. You see, for me, I will say this without getting any word. The people did know that it's not going to be in ADC. And make sure that either I get the ticket or becoming the vice president of Atiku. Let him go and let's just go and relax himself. Because you can't, because I still believe that it's part of the people that put us in this prison that we find ourselves today. Because he's the person that divided the votes that would have made either PDP to win the last election. And we can't continue repeating that. Let it solidify itself in one place. I believe that even though they become, let them get a better backing. Because we all know in this area that nothing will make Atiku to drop in ambition. Just for to be so. We all know because it's just like a life ambition of Atiku. So going back there now, we just continue dividing the votes, and at the end of the day,
excuse me,
nothing will happen.
I have a question. So, how was it to be that divided the vote in the last election?
Yes.
How was it the one?
Let me tell you now. You ask me a question, so I will answer you the question. The way that people be divided the vote that then, when it's the time that you understand that, yes, PDP are not going to give him the ticket. It would have still relaxed because he would have still become a running mate with this Atiku. If he remains in PDP, he went there to go and be with the Labour Party. Yes, and we understand what played during the part of INEC. If all those votes that Obi gathered in the last election, and all those states that Obi win in the last election, and it's PDP that Obi remain and become the vice president for Atiku, no, guys, it will be a far distant victory.
Okay, so let me answer you. If Obi was a running mate to anybody in last election, the kind of followership he got, he wouldn't have got even 1/4 of it. If he was running mate to anybody, that kind of followership he got, he wouldn't have gotten 1/4 of it.
In 2019, that the vote, it was a running mate with Atiku against Buhari. You understand what happened? If not the same rigging of election, I'll still win.
Okay. Your point is clear.
This man is leaving.
I have to let you go. He's asking Obi to team up with Atiku so their votes won't be divided. Interesting take. Good morning. Okay, you'd need to reconnect. 0803-221-697, 30803-827-6694. Last call, then we go over to Facebook. Good morning. 45 seconds.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Ezekiel, from Onitsha.
Go ahead. Make it snappy.
Because it is endless if we begin to pinpoint federal roads in the east. That is terribly bad. I have to talk about what's all through Cemetery Road. My speaker, if you go to Kibwe to Afibo, you will regret traveling that target. And giving us a Minister of Works that supervise other people, other sections of the country developed and allow his own environment to be in that manner. It's terrible. I think our people should be talking about what benefits the southeast of the region. Thank you.
All right, then. Let's go over to Facebook.
Okay, so, the youngest fry, okay, thank you for following us. Abomi Kechuk, also thank you for your kind words. Okay, Gonas Madeke says we should ignore talks with PDP for the sake of his political ambition because okay, I didn't get the last part of this here post. Sebastian Bigo says I represent, okay, sorry for that. This is a complex country, and the worst part of the whole scenario is that our constitution is not helping matters as regards to what is happening in our political space. Honestly, the ruling party is doing all it can through Nyesom Wiki to nail other political parties, especially the PDP, on the cross. And any person or group of persons hoping to make something out of that party is just doing that as a misplaced priority. And the Norbert Uche says, please, someone should tell Tony that INEC has recognized Osman as Labour Party interim chairman. See, you know, we were discussing this thing before you came in. Go, just what you do for yourself is to go to INEC website. If you didn't see it there, it didn't there. And then John Umwe says, just imagine how the Anambra constitute a problem to Ndibo. It's only a number that can describe it to be as the reason Tinubu won the election. See, I don't think the person who called is Anambra. I don't know how you were able to.
And even if he's an Anambra, what has this got to do with Anambra?
See, I don't know the way we. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one says, Fakosi says, he's watching from Vietnam. I support the position of Honorable Speaker that the Obi should form a coalition with other small political parties instead of joining the PDP or Atiku ADC. Okay, thank you for your kind words. So before you come in, because I keep on saying this thing here. People have a way of making declarative and overreaching statements. Like the person who said, you see how in the Anambra, somebody who called on phone said, this is where I'm coming from. He didn't tell you that I'm a native or so and so person, but he just generalized it. I don't know.
I get how you feel about this, Franklin. But I mean, it's not the first time we are getting something of this nature. So let's move on to more important things.
He should be bothered about that. It was not someone that said that INEC has recognized Nenadi Usman, and you think we are here for jokes. And when you listen or read a social media post, you come here. What we do here, we tell you how it is. Nothing but the truth. There is no such. That thing is fake news. Currently, if you go to INEC website, the name you will see there is Julius Abure. So, take it here. It's not about what you saw on Facebook.
All right then, gentlemen, this is where we get to take down the curtain on today's edition of the show. What would be your last words, Tony?
I think we have said it all. I have always been passionate about development in this country, and we feel that if you don't develop your region or work towards the development of your region, nobody will do it for you. And I've just said, Dave Omai, our roads are bad. You are the Minister of Works. That's the only thing we can pride ourselves and say we have in this current administration. So use it, not to please any region, as Rotimi Chibika did while he was the Minister of Transportation, but he must do it in a way that people here will always remember you for that.
Isn't that pleasing the region too, Franklin?
Why? I'm going to finish this very program by I don't know how I'm going to say this, but we need a paradigm shift in mindset and the way you think and the way we think. I'm going to conclude this by and trying to import something that happened to that's one guy called Oklora. Many of us know him. He went for a humanitarian activity in somewhere in Imo State, and he was kidnapped. All the money raised for that very activity was given back to the kidnappers.
Allegedly.
It's not allegedly. It is not. So what I'm saying in essence is, I just want a situation where we can have a change of mindset, where we should begin to, find solutions ourselves, rather than always having this mentality of everybody wants to press us down, everybody wants to bring us down. Let's on our own join hands together and even make our own region to be worthwhile.
All right, then. I would always say the Nigeria you desire is still in your hands to make. Be the change that you want to see around you. Until tomorrow. No, until Monday, actually. Until Monday, because this is the last edition for this week and the first edition for the month of August. Wishing you a very beautiful August, by the way. See you around.